Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So, in today's video we're gonna take a look at how to actually ride a motorcycle, how to get going, and how to safely stop in a controlled manner. This is the third video in the series on how to ride a motorcycle. The first video consisted of the controls of the motorcycle, and the second one were the pre-ride checks. If you didn't watch those videos, I highly suggest you do so, because it will help you with riding your bike for the very first time, which is the goal here. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So what you're gonna need is an empty parking lot. So get your bike into a safe environment like this one. Doesn't matter how you do it. Ask a friend, ask a family member or whatever to ride your bike there, or get it up on a trailer or something, push it over there, whatever. Do what you need to do to get it into a safe environment for you to practice, because you're gonna need it. You don't want to ride your bike the first time on a public road and crash the first time you release the clutch, for example, you know. So you don't want that. Get yourself and your bike in a safe environment like this one. And then we're going to actually start this episode decently. We will, as I said, discuss on how to get going and how to stop. So first, let's discuss on how to get going. You're gonna obviously start the bike up, you twist the key, you pull in the clutch, even though if it's in neutral, and you press that button and release very slowly. If the bike jerks forward, you need to pull in the clutch again, because it will not be in gear decently. Well, it will not be in neutral decently, it will actually be in gear. And then you need to use the gear lever to get it into neutral decently, you know. So if it's, for example, into first and it's showing neutral and you start going, it will switch to first, and you need to pull in the clutch, get it into neutral, and then you're all right. Second reason you want to pull in the clutch is on some bikes you need to do so for the bike to be able to start, which is a safety mechanism for the reason I just explained. And the last reason is also, you know, it's a good habit. It only needs to happen once. When you press the start button, it jerks forward and you fall your bike over. You don't want that to happen. That's really stupid. So just pull in the clutch for safety. So that's the very first thing, and then we're actually going to get going. How do you do that? Well, you're gonna need to obviously pull in the clutch like in a car, and then press the gear lever down. Downwards is it going from neutral to first gear, and from then on you can press upwards and it's gonna go to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I'm gonna make a separate video about that. For this video we're gonna stay into first gear. So yeah, and then what happens is, if you release the clutch, the bike will start to creep forward. You see, I'm not touching the throttle and the bike is going forward. So what is happening is same thing as in a car. There is a clutch, which are essentially just different plates. And when you release the clutch, the plates will touch harder and harder, which will make the power go from the engine through the clutch to the back wheel. So the power will be transferred through that, and the more you release the clutch, the less, the more friction is in there, and eventually all plates will spin at the same speed, and you're going to go fully into gear. So you want to use that zone, that friction zone, to get going and to change gears, but that's for a little bit later. So that is what you are feeling when you're releasing the clutch. So again, if you go into first gear, you release it, the plates will start to touch and you will creep forward. So for this step, to actually get going on a motorcycle, I like to divide it up into 4 different levels, going from easy to difficult. Right, so we are in a different environment right now because on my way home I thought about something important, so I wanted to say this to you guys. With any of the 4 levels that I'm going to explain to you in a second, you want to look forward. Do not look at the controls. You need to look forward and fixed point as far as possible, really. Why is that? Because you want to go in a straight line for these exercises. And the bike will be more stable, you will be more stable because your vision is also more stable. If you are looking at something close, then you will make little movements and that will destabilize the bike and it will make everything a lot more difficult with motorcycling and also with riding a bike or with driving a car. You always go where you look at. So if you look ahead, you will go ahead. If you look to the side, you will go to the side. So look at something right in front of you in the distance. Your bike will be more stable. Everything will be a lot easier, and trust me on this, it will come in very, very handy if you you know, get this habit down before you get on the road, because that's when accidents happen. If you target fixate in a corner because you look at the wrong thing, that's how you crash. So look at something ahead of you because we're going in a straight line, we're not taking corners. Look at something far because we are going in one direction, we're not going to change direction, and you want to have a stable bike and you want to be stable yourself, so your vision needs to be stable too. Look ahead, don't look at your controls. So that's it. Let's get on with the rest of the video. So the very first level of getting to go is you need to get into gear. You're gonna release the clutch, get into that friction zone, and you wanna fully release it very, very slowly. There we go. For fully release, as you can see, I'm going 12 kilometers per hour, which we'll call the maintenance speed of the first gear there. And that's it. I'm fully into gear. I didn't touch the throttle at all, and I'm still moving. So it's completely possible to do that. It's also completely possible to do that in other gears. So you could, I don't suggest to do that, but you could get into second and do the same thing. Slowly release, and there we go, fully released. I'm going 15 kilometers per hour into second gear. But for this video, just stay into first, fully release it, and on this MT-07 you'll go 12 kilometers per hour, and that's it. That's what you want to try to do. That's your first experience with the friction zone. So the second level is that you stay in the friction zone. Now, how do you do that? A motorcycle could, because of its lightweight, go forwards for a long time without the need to release the clutch. Let's show you guys what I mean. If I slowly release it all the way, then pull in, it'll take a while for the bike to slow down. You see, it takes a long time. And for this exercise, you want to be able to slow down a little bit faster so that you can stay into that friction zone and get to know that zone. So how do you do that? Well, you're gonna press the rear brake. So by pressing it, obviously you'll slow down, and that's it. But if you are in that friction zone and you drag the rear brake, you're gonna slow down because of the brake, and you're gonna accelerate because of the clutch at the same time. So that will allow you to practice staying in that friction zone. So right now I'm gonna press the rear brake just a little bit, and I'm gonna release the clutch. You see? But I'm not gonna release it all the way, still dragging the rear brake. So if I pull it in, I'll slow down to 0, but that's not what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to stay in that friction zone and stay keep on moving, you know. So we're gonna try to stay under 12 kilometers per hour, which is when I fully release it, and I just want to play with it. I just want to practice and practice, get to know that zone. Where does it fully release? You're feeling it, and you know, you just want to practice. See that? Just practice. I'm dragging the rear brake constantly, so if I pull it in, I'm slowing down faster than I would if I were not to press the rear brake. So I can just practice. So that is the second level on how to get going. The third level, in the third level, you're gonna start incorporating the throttle. So the third and the fourth level are gonna be obviously different. In the third level, you're gonna use the throttle after you fully released it. But that is, I'm gonna explain you how to do that, because you need to do it in a safe manner. And the fourth level, you will use the throttle while you are releasing the clutch, which is the common and most practical way because of a couple of reasons. So first, let's do the third level. I'm gonna release the clutch. I'm not dragging the rear brake. I'm just gonna release all the way. And now what you want to do is use the throttle. But watch out with that, because you've probably seen those videos where people that ride the very first time touch the throttle, the bike shoots forward, and the guy or girl or whatever is thrown back off the bike. So you don't want that to happen. Now, why does that happen? Because a bike is a lot more powerful than a car in most cases, and also your center of gravity of you as a person is, making your body go backwards. So if I touch the throttle and I sit too much upright, I'm gonna throw my body backwards because of that, and that will make the bike, that will make your hand twist the throttle even more, and the bike will just shoot up. So that's what that looks like. If I were to sit upright and I twist it too hard, I'm thrown back, and I will twist the throttle because of that, and that will shoot the bike forward and me backwards. So you don't want that to happen. So how do you prevent that? You will want to lean forward, obviously, so the center of gravity of you as a person is moved forward, and also you want to use this very carefully. You only want to use this little by little. So I'm just using this, I'm just twisting this like a little millimeter, as you can see, and the bike is already going faster. See that? I'm already going 22 kilometers per hour with just 1 little millimeter of throttle. So that's what you want to feel. That's what you want to also get used to. And that's why you need a big empty space like this. So you could actually cover some distance while you are practicing. You can just leave the clutch for what it is and just practice this a little bit. Get a decent hold of it, twist it 1 millimeter, twist it 2 millimeters, whatever, slow down again, and you'll go back to 12 kilometers per hour in this case. So that's what you want to practice. Get to know how the throttle feels and get to know how powerful this is, certainly in first gear. Be careful with this step, lean forward enough and just twist it a tiny little bit. So that's step number 3. And for step number 4, I'm gonna get a little bit further, so I'm in a safe spot. There's no one behind me. Awesome. So, and the fourth step, I will release the clutch while giving the bike throttle. So first, twist the throttle and then start releasing all the way, like in step 1, and then you'll go faster than 12 kilometers per hour, and it will be accelerating very smoothly. So just get the revs a little bit higher like this, and then release it very slowly. There we go. See that? I'm already going this fast, and it was not jerky, it was not uncontrolled or whatever, because I did it the same way like in step number 1, with just giving it a little bit of throttle like in step number 3. So that's what you want to do. I went into gear very smoothly, and also you want to give the bike a little bit of throttle when you release the clutch a little bit faster, so that you don't stall the bike. So those are the 4 main steps on how to get going on a bike, and you want to practice them all to learn how to do it safely and to get to know the friction zone and get to know how powerful this is and how to adjust your body position to mitigate that power. So that's getting to go on motorcycle. Then obviously between every exercise you need to stop also. So that's the second part, which is going to be a little bit easier because we're only going to use one single brake while doing these exercises, and that is the rear brake. Now, why you want to use the rear brake and not the front one is that if you are going a low speed and you use the front one, that will destabilize the bike. And if you're going low speeds already, the chance that you're going to fall over or brake too hard and fall over or whatever is high. While if you use the rear brake, the complete opposite is going to happen, because the braking power is behind you and not in front of you. You will actually make your bike more stable. If you drag the rear brake, your bike will stay on its line a lot better, certainly when compared to using the front brake. So for these exercises, only use the back brake. Do not touch the front one, because you will probably fall over if you have no experience. So let's get going. I'm gonna use step number 4 for this example. I'm going to accelerate with using the throttle and releasing the clutch, and then I'm going to grab the clutch, because if you don't grab the clutch and you brake, the bike is gonna stall, obviously. Same thing as in a car. So what you want to do is release the throttle, grab the clutch and brake with the rear brake, and use your left foot on the asphalt and the right foot is still on the pegs, still braking. Now you want to get used to this position very fast in your riding career, because you want to be able to brake right away after you get going, because in traffic a lot of shit can happen and you want to be able to stop immediately. And as I already said, in low speed situations you want to use the rear brake, and if your foot is already on that brake or hovering over it or near it because it's on the peg, then you're going to be faster at stopping. So get used to that. At low speed maneuvers, don't use the front brake, and when you are completely at a stop, use your left foot on the ground and your right foot on the brake or on the peg. So again, let's cover it again. Let's get going. This is step number 4. There we go. And then we're gonna release the throttle, grab the clutch and press the rear brake, and use the left foot on the asphalt to stop. So that is the most stable way to stop on a motorcycle at slow speed maneuvers. You want to practice those motions, you want to practice those things, because you're going to use them a lot. Traffic is going slow, regrettably, and if you control your bike going slow speeds, that is a lot more difficult than controlling the bike at high speeds. Alright, there's one last thing you need to know, because right now you are still in first gear. You need to be able to get back into neutral. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys. If you remember, in the beginning of the video, we went from neutral to first gear by pressing down on the shifter. So to get back into neutral from first gear, we need to do the opposite, namely pull the shifter upwards. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna show you. So start the bike, I'm gonna press down. We are into first gear right now, as you can see. So to get back into neutral, we need to obviously have our clutch pulled in, and you need to put your foot underneath the shifter and pull up very gently. See that? And now we are in neutral. If you pull up too much, you'll get into second, and then you need to get back down by pressing very gently into neutral. So that means that neutral is in between first and second gear. So if you are in second and you pull up too hard, you get into if you are in first, and you pull up too hard, you are going to go into second, and then third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So pull up just a tiny little bit. On most bikes it is not very difficult to get into, but on some bikes it is quite difficult to get into neutral again, because it is so small and so precise to get into, and then it helps to blip the throttle just a little bit while you are pressing upwards from first gear, and that will most of the time click it right back into neutral. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, leave a like. Certainly don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one, and ride safe.